The disrespect continues. The disrespect continues. And if they're not careful, dump divers in the WNBA, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, if they are not careful, they are going to end up getting exactly what they want.
Yes, you heard that correctly. The WNBA will get what it wants. But what exactly do they want, and how are they planning to fix things? According to the league, the Indiana Fever pose the biggest threat, especially with Caitlin Clark dominating the competition. Even though she was never supposed to become the face of the WNBA. So how will the league handle it? By expanding through the major players cut before the finals system. And here's the catch, new teams will get to select one player from each existing roster. This way, the WNBA can gradually, but surely, break down the powerhouse the Fever is becoming by forcing them to lose one or more key players every year.
Now, Caitlin Clark is playing it cool. She's trying to please everyone. She's trying to keep her fan base happy. She's trying to ingratiate herself with a group of minimum wage earners that will never accept her. She is staying polite with the media, even though they constantly disrespect her. But there will come a point with Caitlin Clark when she has finally had
And I can already hear the argument. If the WNBA is so determined to stop Caitlin Clark, then she could simply walk away from the league and head to Europe, where she could easily make 110 times more per year. Based on what she's doing right now, the truth is she's actually doing the WNBA a favor by staying in America. But the league, the W, doesn't even realize it.
Season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even...
So, let's talk about what's going to unfold during the off-season. Make no mistake, everything they do is calculated. Nothing happens by accident. Every move is planned, and it goes far beyond just trying to derail Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever's 2024 campaign is finished, but what a thrilling season it was. Their turnaround cannot be overstated. A team that was at the bottom of the WNBA the previous year suddenly found itself in the playoffs, thanks in large part to their first-round pick, Caitlin Lynn Clark. After a legendary college career, Clark came into the league with fire and delivered immediately, earning Rookie of the Year while outperforming every other freshman in the class. Still, she wasn't carrying the team alone. Her backcourt chemistry with Aaliyah, and especially with Kelsey Mitchell, was key. Aaliyah Boston held her own in the paint and controlled the boards early, while Alyssa Smith consistently put up double-digit points despite constant pressure. But here's the problem. As the league pushes its expansion strategy, players may be forced out. Clark may not be the only star targeted. Smith could very well be on her way out too.
In her exit interview, Storm player Gabby Williams warned the WNBA, if you want to keep international players, you need to do better. So here's what she had to say.
The W thinks that they don't have to pay us more in order for us to be here. And I think I didn't express that when I first talked about prioritization. Our commissioner talked about us being able to, make 700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that. And we were promised, team marketing agreements and league marketing agreements, but they've fallen quite short. So it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here. And that's a choice of the players. If I make a choice to make more money, whatever, and then teams are mad that I don't come back, but that's how it is. So yes, it just, the WNBA, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business, it's how it works, and that's all that,
Since that interview, less than a week later, Gabby is already in Istanbul, where she will be playing for the off-season. And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season.
There will come a point with Caitlin Clark where she gets tired of the bullshit, tired of the disrespect.
It's not out of the norm for WNBA players to play during the regular season and then during their off-season play overseas. This is something that has been happening for the entirety of the WNBA. It even went as far as to 1 year in 2015, Diana Taurasi played in Russia and did not play in the WNBA. And it was never outright stated that she didn't play in the WNBA because Russia basically put that in their contract, that if she went there, she couldn't play. But that was pretty much what everybody thought happened, because Russia paid Diana Taurasi at that time $1.5 million salary to play in Russia. Now, at the time in the WNBA, the salary, like the highest salary in the league, was $107,000. So obviously that's a huge jump. Diana took that offer. She played overseas, and at that time she was also like hands down the face of the league. The WNBA was not as popular as it is now, but that was an opportunity that Diana took. And I feel like with the growing popularity of the WNBA and with players able to, make money off brand deals and this and that, and their celebrity rising, there could be a world where more of these private owned EuroLeague teams, I could see some of these teams going after some of our star players in the WNBA. And if the money makes sense, if the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas like Gab.
However, after months of speculation, the WNBA has officially revealed the rules for the Golden State Valkyries expansion draft. And this means that players heading overseas isn't the only thing the league should be worried about. The draft is set for December 6th, though the exact time remains unspecified. Every team will have a core designation available this summer, similar to the NFL's franchise tag, that can be applied to a player for up to 2 years of their career. For Indiana, that tool will be critical. Golden State will be allowed to select one player from each team, plus one unrestricted free agent. Teams may protect 6 of their 12 players from being taken, based on their roster as it stood at the end of the 2024 season. This means that even unrestricted free agents could, under certain conditions, be protected. For example, in exchange for a Supermax contract, unrestricted free agent Kelsey Mitchell could be said, which would give Indiana exclusive bargaining rights. About 10 days before the draft, all teams are expected to submit their protected player lists. While the league will not make these lists public, it will announce which players the Valkyries ultimately select. That leaves Indiana in a tough position, because only 6 Fever players can be protected. And this brings us to the hard choices. At season's end, Alyssa Smith's name wasn't on many fans' top 6 lists. Despite starting 37 of 40 regular season games and performing well, she lost favor with head coach Stephanie White during the playoffs, logging only 13 total minutes across Indiana's 2 games against the Connecticut SUN.SO, who gets locked in. The Fever will almost certainly use their first 3 protection slots on their big 3, the core that drove them back into the playoffs. Caitlin Clark will remain the centerpiece, but as the expansion dust settles, it's highly likely she'll be playing alongside a new starting forward in 2025. Protecting Kelsey Mitchell in the expansion draft is the first step toward making her the Fever's top priority this offseason. Mitchell has been the cornerstone of the franchise for 7 seasons, leading the team in scoring in all but 2 of them. In the backcourt, she and rookie Caitlin Clark formed an immediate connection, and the Fever will want to keep that pairing intact. Clark transformed Indiana's offense into the up-tempo system it desperately needed. She shattered the single-season league record for assists while also setting rookie marks for points and three-pointers made. Clark even edged Mitchell as the team's top scorer this season, by just 2 points. Alongside them, Aaliyah Boston remains a central piece. The 2023 number 1 pick began the rebuild by leading Indiana to a 13-27 record as a rookie, then played a pivotal role again in 2024. Lexi Hull has also emerged as a strong candidate for protection. A tenacious defender and rebounder, she fits perfectly in Indiana's new up-tempo style. Though she started the season buried on the bench, Hull broke out after the Olympic break, boosting her three-point shooting from 22% to nearly 50% over the final 15 games. With her rookie deal set to expire in a year, protecting her makes long-term sense. The biggest question mark is Alyssa Smith. Normally, Smith would be an automatic protection slot. She was a former number 2 pick and averaged double-digit points again this season. But her frustrations were clear. She openly criticized her lack of touches and admitted she didn't deliver the impact she expected. Indiana could still protect her, but a trade during the final year of her rookie contract in 2025 is very possible. Other Fever players fall into the on-the-fence category. Temi Fagbonal, a versatile forward with the ability to stretch the floor, but injuries to her thumb, foot, and shoulder limited her to 22 games. At 32, she remains a reliable veteran presence, though her restricted free agency complicates her future. Dawana Borna, if you meant Dantas or Dairies, clarify spelling, battled a preseason knee injury, missing much of the year, but later provided much-needed front-court depth and floor spacing. With a year left on her deal, she could easily remain in the mix. Then there are those most likely to go unprotected. Katie Lou Samuelson returned in 2023 after giving birth, but she struggled to regain her form, particularly from three-point range. She has 1 year left on her contract at $180,000, but her fit in Indiana's rotation is uncertain. Grace Berger, the Fever's 2023 first-round pick, also saw her minutes vanish after Clark's arrival at point guard, raising doubts about her long-term role. In the end, only 6 Fever players can be protected. Most signs point to Indiana locking in Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and Hull, with 2 more slots likely going to frontcourt players. That leaves several key names exposed, giving the Golden State Valkyries a chance to reshape Indiana's depth chart in the expansion draft. As a 2023 All-Rookie guard, Grace Berger saw her role reduced almost entirely to garbage time minutes this season. A change of scenery might be exactly what she needs to earn more playing time elsewhere. Victoria Saxton, a third-round pick in 2023, has now spent 2 seasons with the Fever but has yet to carve out a regular spot in the rotation. Her best showing came in the regular season finale, when Indiana's starters rested. She scored 5 points in 5 minutes, a small but telling glimpse of her potential. Christy Wallace, meanwhile, carried the distinction of being the Fever's lone Olympian this cycle, helping Australia capture a bronze medal. Her WNBA season, however, was mixed. She started 15 games at small forward before losing her spot to Lexi Hull and ultimately sliding out of the rotation. With 1 year remaining on her rookie deal, her future with Indiana is uncertain. Then there's 10-year veteran Erica Wheeler. Once the highest-paid player in the league under her 2023 deal, Wheeler shifted from starter to bench leader after Caitlin Clark's arrival. Despite the reduced role, she remained a vital veteran presence, bringing energy and morale to a young Fever squad. Now, as an unrestricted free agent, her next step will be closely watched. So that leaves the big question. With the expansion draft looming, who do you think the Golden State Valkyries will target? Which Fever players will be left exposed, and which ones will be protected? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.